Sidemount diving offers a unique blend of true redundancy and exceptional flexibility, making it an attractive option for many. However, this advanced diving technique is a double-edged sword. Without full mastery and complete awareness of the equipment, it can become outright dangerous. The complexity of the Sidemount system requires to have a deep understanding of the gear and its configuration, emphasizing the importance of thorough training and practice. Fortunately, several highly effective exercises can aid divers in achieving this crucial equipment awareness. These exercises are not merely routine drills, they are immersive practices that challenge divers to familiarize themselves with every piece of their gear without relying on visual aids. The goal is to build muscle memory and automatic response capabilities, ensuring that in any situation, the diver can react swiftly and correctly. One such exercise aims to develop a diver's tactile familiarity with their equipment, akin to the well-known valve drill. Through repetitive practice, divers learn to locate and manipulate their gear purely by touch, creating a seamless and instinctual connection with their setup. This training is invaluable as it prepares divers for real-world scenarios where visibility may be compromised and quick, confident responses are essential. The goal of this exercise is to don and doff the cylinders while maintaining buoyancy and ideal trim, all while keeping constant eye contact with the team. Starting by removing the long hose as you would when deploying it. Pay attention to correctly holding the hose by the base of the second stage, with the mouthpiece pointing down to prevent accidental free flow. Form a loop with the hose and locate the hose retainer band with your right hand. Then, by opening it with the help of your left hand, stow it away. Be careful not to cross the hose over itself, as this will prevent clean deployment in case you need it. Ensure never to clip it off while stowed away. It must be deployable in all circumstances while underwater. Unclip the dry suit inflator if you have one. Then use your left hand to assist by holding the cylinder by the first stage while you undo the loop bungee with your right hand. Next, unclip the bottom bolt snap, which will completely detach the cylinder from your body. Moving the cylinder in front of you gives you a clear view of the hose routing and enables you to make any necessary adjustments. Ideally, the hose should be routed as it was initially set up before the dive, except for tucking the second loop under the bottom hose retainer for easier redeployment. Pay close attention to the sequence when reattaching the cylinder. The bottom bolt snap should be clipped on first while the left hand assists by holding the first stage. Once done, locate the loop bungee, and by hooking in your thumb, you simply loop it over the valve extension. Don't forget to reconnect your dry suit inflator hose if you have one. The final step to reset your right post is to fully deploy the long hose. If you've positioned the second stage correctly, this should be straightforward. Locate the second stage with your right hand and then deploy the hose as usual. After redeploying the long hose, it might end up slightly shorter. So take your time to verify and adjust the hose routing, position, and anything else that might seem off before moving on to the left cylinder. Removing the left post necessitates careful handling and understanding of correctly managing the hose. Ensure the long hose is positioned above the short one upon donning the cylinder. After removing the long hose, hold it in front and use your left hand to release the necklace bungee while breathing from the short hose regulator. Then, remove the short hose in a manner similar to transitioning from a deco or stage cylinder. Use your left hand to remove it while redeploying the long hose with your right hand. Form a loop with the short hose, ensuring the necklace bungee doesn't get tangled, and tuck it under the hose retainer band on your left cylinder. Be sure not to rotate the turret downwards, so it's going to be more intuitive to redeploy it later on. Unclip the inflator hose and, gripping the first stage of the cylinder, remove the loop bungee. Then unclip the lower bolt snap to fully detach it from your body. When removing this side, you're essentially following the same sequence you used with your right post up to this point. Double-check the hose routing to ensure nothing is tangled, then reattach the cylinder following the same sequence as discussed earlier. During cylinder removal, the goal is to maintain optimal lower back tension to counteract the imbalance caused by shifting weight in front of you. This applies to both aluminum and steel cylinders, though handling the latter can be more challenging due to its weight. Moving on, pull out the short hose in front of you and ensure it's running freely. Position the hose downward by rotating the 90-degree elbow and switch to it after removing the long hose regulator. When handling the long hose with the aim to reroute or adjust your gear, we advise you to always deliberately move it out to the side instead of straight in front. Switch hands, and by grabbing the short hose second stage from the front, remove it and loop it around your neck, then re-establish breathing. Ensure the necklace is in front of your face during this maneuver so you can loop it over your head after switching hands holding the long hose. Slow down and take your time with this to ensure the necklace bungee doesn't get tangled in your mask. Always remember, moving slowly leads to smoothness, and smoothness leads to speed. Once done, redeploy the long hose over the necklace regulator. This ensures the routing is correct and you are back to the setup you started with. The final step is to reconnect your inflator hose. Be sure to reach under your long hose to ensure the routing is correct. In all cases, it should be placed under the long hose. At this stage, your gear should be configured exactly as it was when you began the dive. Though this may seem like a simple exercise, performing it underwater adds a level of complexity that makes it anything but easy. Therefore, it is crucial not to practice this unsupervised when you're starting out, and to halt the exercise immediately if you make any mistakes. If an error occurs, restart from the beginning. Let's examine the cylinder and hose handling from a different perspective to better understand the details. It's important to note that there isn't only one way to correctly stow the long hose. After forming a loop and locating the retainer band, simply tuck away the hose starting with the loop. Once it is under the retainer, grab the second stage from above and push it down until it's secure. Then locate the loop beneath and pull in the excess. It doesn't have to be overly tidy, as you will remove the cylinder and confirm the hose alignment from a different angle. Disconnect the dry suit inflator if you have one. Then, using your left hand to hold onto the first stage, undo the loop bungee with your right hand. Once done, unclip the bottom bolt snap. Moving the cylinder in front of you allows you to examine the hose routing once again, either by looking at it or by touch. There are three main things to check. First, ensure the hose is not overlapping the bottom bolt snap. Second, verify there is no excess loop extending beyond the first stage, as this will make resetting the loop bungee difficult. And third, make sure the hose is not tangled over itself. Donning the cylinder underwater involves reversing the steps of doffing. First, secure the cylinder by clipping in the bottom bolt snap. Next, reset the loop bungee, and finally connect your inflator. The second stage should be reachable with your right hand if positioned correctly. After resetting the long hose, take some time to ensure everything is as it should be. The method shown in the video is our preferred approach, but we encourage you to experiment and find what works best for you. The key is to avoid tangling the long hose and ensure it's ready for immediate deployment during the exercise. Once you have built confidence in mastering the sequence of this exercise, you can take it to the next level by practicing without a mask. This will ensure you rely solely on touch and feel without any visual aid. Always practice with a partner. Have your teammate hold your mask while you carry a backup just in case. Don't rush through this process. The goal is not to prove you can do it once, but to demonstrate consistent proficiency and, most importantly, have fun doing it. To elevate your skills even further, applicable to every underwater skill, not just this one, you can practice without wearing your fins. This exercise is particularly challenging without fins, as performing it even half-decently requires precise breathing, trim, and lower back tension, to name a few. These will be tested as you shift your balance point while moving the cylinders in front of you. Due to the challenging nature of being without your fins, make sure to practice in a pool or confined water environment and always under the supervision of professionals. We have a video further discussing the benefits of training without fins. Click the card in the upper right corner to view it if you haven't already. Thanks for watching and hope you learned something. Consider subscribing to FlowState Divers to become part of the community of conscious divers and to get notified on our upcoming content.